me tell you something, ladies. You're sitting there wondering why he ain't calling. You're checking your phone, scrolling through old messages, reading the last text like it's a love letter from Shakespeare. Hey, that's all he said. And now you waiting on a miracle. If a man wants to call you, he will. If he wants to text you, he will. Ain't no mystery to it. I know some of y'all out here losing sleep, refreshing your phone like it's a slot machine, praying for 3 little bubbles to pop up on the screen. You wondering, did I say something wrong? Did I text too soon? Did I not respond fast enough? Stop it. You driving yourself crazy trying to decode something that's real simple. Let me put this in terms everybody can understand. Men are not complicated. We do what we want to do when we like something, when we want something, when we value something, we show up. We don't need instructions, we don't need reminders, and we don't forget. A man who truly wants to talk to you will find a way. I don't care if he's working 2 jobs, stuck in traffic, or living on 3% battery. If he cares, you're going to hear from him. See, what happens is y'all start making excuses for these men. Well, he's been busy. Busy? Nobody's too busy to take 10 seconds to send a message. You ain't asking for a novel. You're just waiting on a, hey, how's your day? And he can't even do that? Girl, stop giving people credit for doing nothing. You're sitting there holding on to potential instead of recognizing the reality. Let me break this down even further. You ever notice how a man will call his barber back? Oh, he'll make that appointment. He'll call his homie about the game, text the boys about the fantasy league, even answer his cousin who always asks for money. But you, the one he's supposed to be pursuing, you're sitting on read. That ain't no accident. That's a decision. That's intention. That's clarity, whether you like it or not. You got to stop treating silence like it's confusion. It's not confusion, it's communication. When someone doesn't call, that is a message. When someone doesn't text, that's information. The problem is you're not listening to the message because it ain't the one you wanted to hear. You wanted, hey, beautiful, I miss you, but what you got was quiet. And silence speaks, it says, I'm not thinking about you right now. That's tough. That's painful, but that's real. And I'd rather you deal with the truth than live in a fantasy. Now, I know you're thinking, but Steve, maybe he's scared. Maybe he's just not ready. No. Scared people still show up when it matters. Nervous people still send that text when they care. Immature people still feel something deep enough to act on it. What you're calling fear is really just indifference. He's not scared. He's just not prioritizing you. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but baby, once you do, you'll stop begging for crumbs. You deserve someone who calls because they want to hear your voice, not because you reminded them, not because you sent a pity post on Instagram, but because your name pops up in their mind and their first instinct is, let me reach out. That's how real love, real interest, and real men work. We're wired to go after what we want. Always have been. And let me say this too. Some of y'all confuse chasing with love. A man that makes you guess, makes you wait, makes you wonder if he even likes you, that ain't love. That's manipulation. A man who loves you will give you peace. He'll give you clarity. He'll make you feel secure, not anxious. You don't have to earn that energy. You just have to recognize it. So stop calling people who don't call you. Stop checking for someone who ain't checking for you. You don't need to remind anyone of your worth. You are the reminder. Your presence, your energy, your peace. That's the gift. And if he doesn't see it, it's not your job to open his eyes. It's your job to walk in your light until someone who can see clearly steps into your light. Now go ahead and put your phone down. If he wants to call you, he will. If he wants to text, he will. Believe that. Let me tell you something that might hurt at first, but it'll save your life in the long run. His attention is not a reflection of your worth. I need you to sit with that, digest it. Because too many of you are measuring your value by how often your phone rings. You're out here thinking, if he texts me back fast, that means I'm important. If he likes my pictures, that means I'm enough. If he calls me every night, that means, baby girl, no. Your value was already there before he ever even knew your name. You keep giving power to people who don't even know what to do with it. You wake up checking your messages like they control your mood for the day. No text, now you're feeling down. Dry reply, now you're second guessing yourself. Girl, you better stop letting a man's inconsistency rewrite your story. Because here's the truth. A man not giving you attention doesn't mean you're not valuable. It means he doesn't recognize value. There's a difference. Listen, you ever walk past a $1,000 0-cent pair of shoes in the store and didn't even look twice? You know why? Not because the shoes weren't valuable. It's because they weren't in your budget. That man ignoring you, it's not because you ain't worthy. It's because you don't fit into his mindset right now. And that ain't your fault. That's his limitation. See, when you start tying your self-worth to how someone else treats you, you give them the keys to your emotional peace. Now you're up and down depending on their mood. You're good when they call and broken when they don't. That ain't how love is supposed to work. That ain't how you are supposed to live. You are a whole person, not half a soul, waiting to be completed by someone who can't even complete a sentence. You've got dreams. You've got purpose. You've got a calling on your life that existed before he showed up and will continue long after he's gone. And yet you're sitting there letting someone's lack of interest make you question everything about yourself. You don't need to be more quiet, more patient, more understanding, more available. What you need to be is more aware of your own worth. Let me tell you, I've seen queens fall apart because some man gave them mixed signals. You were glowing until he ghosted you. You were thriving until he started pulling away. What happened? Did your light suddenly go out? No. You just let someone else dim it. You let someone else's confusion become your insecurity. You let someone who doesn't even know who he is decide who you are. And that's the problem. If he texts you, good. If he doesn't, good. If he calls you today and disappears for a week, that's his problem, not your reflection. Don't you dare adjust your crown because someone's too blind to see it. Don't lower your standards to fit into someone's temporary attention span. Let them go. Let them miss out. Let them scroll past what they were never meant to have. I want you to stop seeing yourself through the eyes of someone who can't love you right. His silence is not your failure. His inconsistency is not your mistake. His lack of effort is not your invitation to work harder. You are not here to prove you're worthy of being chosen. You already are. And the right man, he won't need a GPS to find that out. He'll see it from the moment you walk into the room. Stop trying to audition for a role in someone's life when you were born to be the lead in your own. You don't need a man to make you feel seen. See yourself. Show up for yourself. Respect yourself. Because when you do, when you truly believe that your value doesn't come from a phone call, a date, a compliment, that's when everything changes. That's when you stop chasing, start attracting, and only entertain what aligns with your peace and purpose. And let me tell you something. The minute you truly know your worth, that's when the phone starts ringing. That's when the texts come in. Not because you needed them, but because you didn't. And that is power. Let me tell you something about life that too many people miss. People treat you according to the energy you bring into the room. That's right. You don't even have to say a word. Your presence speaks before your mouth ever opens. If you walk around like you don't believe in yourself, like you're unsure, like you're desperate for someone else to see your worth, people are going to respond to that energy. They'll treat you like you're unsure, they'll test you, they'll play with you, because that's the message you're sending out without even realizing it. See, energy is everything. You could walk into a room and not even be the best dressed. You might not be the most obvious one there. But when your energy says, I know who I am, I know what I bring to the table, and I'm not begging to sit at anyone's, people pay attention. They feel it. That's why some people get treated like royalty without saying a word, because their energy already introduced them as someone not to be played with. Let me give it to you straight. When you carry yourself like a prize, people treat you like one. But when you carry yourself like someone who's just happy to be chosen, you end up settling for crumbs. And this ain't just about romantic relationships. This is about friends, co-workers, family, everybody. People watch how you treat yourself and they adjust accordingly. If you don't respect your own time, they'll waste it. If you don't protect your peace, they'll disturb it. If you're always available, always compromising, always explaining, they'll treat you like a doormat. And then you'll be sitting there confused, like, why does everyone keep doing me like this? Because your energy told them it was okay. Do you ever notice how when you stop caring so much, when you finally set boundaries, when you start walking like you got purpose, people suddenly treat you different? That ain't a coincidence. That's alignment. When your inner world shifts, your outer world responds. That's not magic. That's self-respect. That's knowing your value and walking like it. Some of y'all out here begging for someone to treat you right when you ain't even treating yourself right. You're giving people access to you that haven't even earned a conversation. You're letting people come and go like your heart got a revolving door. You're bending your standards because you're afraid of being alone. But let me tell you something. There's nothing lonelier than being around people who don't value you. The moment you change your energy, the moment you stop showing up desperate and start showing up confident, everything shifts. That man who used to text you only when he was bored, he'll feel that shift and either step up or fall off. Those people who only called when they needed something, they'll either learn to respect your time or disappear. And the ones who do stick around, they'll be the ones who saw your light and respected your power from the start. But it starts with you. You've got to decide that your energy is too expensive to be wasted on people who can't handle it. You've got to decide that your peace matters more than their approval. Because once you do, once you start walking in that truth, everything, and I mean everything, starts to realign. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to beg to be seen. You don't have to chase to be chosen. You just have to own who you are. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look people in the eye, that's what sets the tone. That's the energy that shifts how people treat you. And if someone can't handle that, let them watch from a distance. Now, let me break something down to you that a lot of people don't understand, especially in relationships, especially when your emotions are involved. Attachment is not about being cold. It's not about being rude. It's not even about not caring. Detachment is power. It's peace. It's confidence. It says, I want you, but I don't need you to complete me. And when you can get to that place, that's when people start paying attention different. See, here's the problem. You get attached too fast. You meet someone, they say the right thing, they do the bare minimum, and boom, now they're your whole focus. You're texting them first all the time. You're checking if they saw your story. You're holding back how you feel just so they don't leave. You're emotionally locked in before they've even earned the key. Let me tell you something. The more desperate you get for someone's attention, the less they give it to you. People can feel energy when you're too available, too eager, too emotionally invested. Too early, they pull back. Why? Because it makes them feel like they don't have to work for your time, your presence, or your love. And let's be honest, people value what they have to earn. That's just human nature. When you stop trying so hard to keep someone, that's when they start trying harder to stay. Have you ever noticed how when you stop caring so much, they suddenly start chasing you? That text you were waiting on for 2 days, it shows up the moment you stop staring at your phone. That call that never came, it comes in when you finally focus on yourself. That's not a coincidence. That's energy. The less pressure you apply, the more space they have to feel your absence. And believe me, your absence should speak just as loud as your presence. Now, don't get it twisted. Detachment doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It just means your feelings don't run your life. It means you don't let someone else's behavior control your self-esteem. It means you don't chase people who are walking away from you. It means you can love someone and still choose yourself first if they're not treating you right. And that kind of strength, that's rare. That's attractive. When you show that you're okay with or without someone, that's when they realize your value. It's not about playing games. It's about having standards. It's about having a life that's full with or without their attention. Because if your whole identity is tied to who's texting you back, you're always going to be emotionally unstable. You're always going to be negotiating your worth with people who aren't qualified to price it. You need to remember who you are. You're not just somebody's maybe. You're not an option, not a backup plan, not someone who's just good enough for now. You're the whole package. And you don't have to chase what's meant for you. It knows how to find you. The right people will never be scared off by your confidence. The wrong people will be confused by your detachment. Let them be. Stop trying to force connection where there's no effort. Stop holding on to someone just because they gave you a little attention. When you let go, you create space for something better. And don't be surprised when they start coming back the moment you finally moved on. That's how it works. People feel it when they no longer have emotional control over you. And that shift, that's when they start wondering, wait, did I lose something valuable? Yes, they did. And if they come back, it should be because they recognize your worth, not because you reminded them of it every other day. So go ahead, let go of the need to be chosen. Let go of the anxiety, let go of the chase. Stand in your worth, protect your peace, and let the energy of your self-respect do the talking. Because detachment, that's not weakness, that's power. Let me take this even deeper. Detachment is not giving up, it's leveling up. It's you saying, I've done my part. I've shown up with honesty, with love, with respect. Now it's on you to match that. And if they don't, you don't lose sleep, you don't chase, you don't beg, you move on. Because real love don't require begging. Real love meets you where you are. See, people are drawn to what's rare. Confidence is rare. A person who doesn't flinch when someone walks away, that's rare. When you detach with dignity, it makes people stop and think. They start wondering, why isn't she blowing up my phone? Why isn't she checking in like she used to? Why is she so calm? Because you've grown, because you've realized that anyone who has to be chased to stay isn't built to last. Some of y'all confuse detachment with silence, but real detachment is loud. It screams, I respect myself too much to keep showing up where I'm not appreciated. It says, I'm done auditioning for a role I already qualify for. And the funny part, That's when they get curious. That's when they start calling again, texting again, liking your stories. Why? Because detachment is attractive. People want what they feel slipping away. But here's the key. When they come back, your detachment has to be strong enough not to fall for the same inconsistency. Detachment gives you clarity. It helps you see who's genuine and who just missed the attention. And baby, you're not an ego boost. You're not a pit stop. You're not here to validate someone who only values you when you're gone. So keep showing up for yourself, keep building your peace, keep living like your presence is a privilege, because it is. Detachment ain't about punishing them, it's about protecting you, protecting your heart, your mind, your time, your energy. And when you walk like that, talk like that, love yourself like that, you don't attract just anybody, you attract the right one. That's the power of letting go. You finally get what you truly deserve.